Buddy, and welcome back to No Deal All Grind. Today we're pulling back the curtain on one of the biggest misconceptions in music. A lot of artists still believe labels operate the same way they did 20 years ago. They think an A&R is walking into random clubs every night. They think someone at a major label is digging through thousands of SoundCloud pages looking for hidden gems. They think talent alone gets discovered. The reality, the industry has evolved. Technology changed everything. Data changed everything. Consumer behavior changed everything. And today, labels often find artists long before they ever make contact. They're watching, tracking, analyzing, evaluating, long before the first email or phone call happens. So today, we're breaking down exactly how labels actually find artists in 2026 and what independent artists need to understand if they want to position themselves for opportunities. So let's get into it. So let's start with the biggest myth in music, the myth of discovery. Most artists imagine a moment where somebody powerful discovers them and suddenly changes their life. But that's usually not what happens. Most successful artists aren't discovered, they're observed. There's a huge difference. Discovery implies nobody knew you existed. Observation means people have been watching your growth for months or even years. Many artists receive label interest after they've already built an audience, generated streams, developed a brand, established consistency, and created demand. By the time a label reaches out, there's a good chance they've already been monitoring your progress. The conversation doesn't start when they contact you. The evaluation started long before. So let's talk about modern A&R. The role of artist and repertoire, commonly called A&R, has changed dramatically. Historically, A&R representatives focused heavily on live performances, talent showcases, referrals, and industry networking. Those things still matter, but today data is part of the scouting process. Modern A&R teams often monitor streaming growth, audience retention, playlist performance, social engagement, geographic listener concentration, and fan activity. Why? Because data reveals behavior, and behavior helps predict market potential. An artist with steady growth over 12 months often appears less risky than an artist who suddenly spikes and disappears. Labels aren't simply looking for talent, they're looking for evidence. So here's a reality many artists don't realize. Labels invest money, and investors look for indicators. Think about it. If a company is going to spend marketing dollars, staffing resources, production budgets, tour support, advertising budgets, they want proof that demand exists. This is where data enters the conversation. Key indicators often include streaming consistency. Can the artist repeatedly generate listens? Or was there only one successful release? Listener retention. Do listeners return, or do they disappear after one song? Audience growth. Is the fan base expanding monthly or staying stagnant? Engagement quality. Do fans interact, comment, share, attend events, buy merchandise? The strongest artists often upward trends across multiple categories, not just one. The strongest artists often show upward trends across multiple categories, not just one. So let's talk about social proof. Social proof is evidence that people care, and labels pay attention to it. Social proof includes fan engagement, community activity, user generated content, playlist ads, media coverage, local support, and brand partnerships. So here's what many artists get wrong. They focus entirely on follower counts, but smart industry professionals often look deeper. 10,000 engaged followers can be more valuable than 100,000 passive followers. Why? Because engagement indicates influence, and influence creates revenue. Labels want artists who can move people, not just accumulate numbers. So many major labels today are looking for artists who have already solved some of the hardest business problems. Questions they're asking include, can this artist consistently create music? Can they build an audience? Can they market themselves? Can they maintain momentum? Can they generate revenue? Notice what's missing. The question isn't, are they talented? Talent is expected. The real question is, can they build demand? Because demand is scalable. That's why independent artists who understand business often attract more opportunities than artists relying solely on talent. Now, let's make this practical. If an A&R representative looked at your profile today, what would they see? Would they see consistent releases, professional branding, strong artist identity, audience engagement, quality visuals, clear messaging, growing momentum? Or would they see long periods of inactivity, confusing branding, inconsistent content, no audience interaction, and no release strategy? Because every post, every song, and every interaction contributes to your professional profile. You may think nobody is watching, but opportunities often come from preparation meeting visibility. Instead of obsessing over getting signed, focus on becoming undeniable. Build a strong catalog, consistent growth, real fans, revenue streams, a recognizable brand. Because even if a label never calls, those things still create a successful career. And if a label does call, you'll negotiate from strength, not desperation. That's leverage. So this week's challenge is simple. Make your profile A&R ready. Audit the following: artist brand, professional photos, consistent image, clear message. Your music catalog, quality recordings, strong releases, consistent output. Social presence, active audience, regular content, fan interaction. Business foundation, your website, your email list, electronic press kit. Revenue streams. Then identify 3 areas that need improvement and create a 30-day action plan. So the artists getting attention today aren't waiting around hoping someone discovers them. They're building, they're growing, they're creating demand, and they're treating their careers like businesses. Remember this: labels rarely create momentum. They usually invest in momentum that's already happening. So stop asking, how do I get a label to notice me? And start asking, what can I build that becomes impossible to ignore? Because that's where leverage lives. That's where opportunities begin. And that's how labels actually find artists. This is no deal, all grind. Keep building, keep growing, keep owning your future. And remember, legacy over labels always. Bye, guys.